Yeah, well, obviously, I mean, if they miss the playoffs, it's probably the end of the road for Alex Anthopoulos, for better or worse.
Yeah.
I know, smart guy, and this has to be crushing, but who knows? I mean, so how does this play out now? I think Mike Wilner said yesterday the team would prefer. Now, obviously, they were giving Norris a shot at the fifth starter. Can Sanchez now be the number 4 guy? And Marco Estrada's in the mix, but we saw last season 29 home runs given up.
Yeah.
I think that was tops in the major leagues. At Rogers Center, I don't think you want him to be the starter. He pitched well in the pan rate, 2.89 in 21 games.
So
I
I
think they want to see Norris Sanchez. So then, what does that mean for the closers?
Spring training was just on September.
I think the front runner somehow is Miguel Castro, who's 20 years old, has the high 90s fastball, but he hasn't pitched past A ball. And this goes again to, bullpen last year was the team's weak link. Why didn't they address it more in the off season? And it was already kind of weird. Now could be crushing.
Anybody's scared to see, especially Marco Estrada, to pitch at the Rogers Center. And after 29 home runs last year, he at one point last year, it was so bad, he turned around and threw the ball over the left field fence. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, he whipped that thing. Right, that's impressive. He's like, whatever, it's going there anyway, I'll just cut to the chase. Since New Yankee Stadium is open, they have the most homers hit in that park. You know what number 2 is? Rogers Center. Yes. So that's a little worrisome for Marco Estrada. And then Fabro brings up a great point. It's the flexibility now that the Blue Jays don't have. But let me ask you something. Does this not kind of force the Blue Jays' hand a little bit? It does. Yeah, but like they get to the point where they're okay. Now we have to do something. We had some surprising flexibility to start the season. Wasn't as bad as we thought it was. And then this happens. They're like, okay, now we're moving everybody up in the rotation, and we got to solidify the bullpen. So Cecil's going to close. Norris and Sanchez. It's yours.
It's pretty about Keith Johnson left
made that decision yesterday when he fell over.
He pitched wrong. He was a big closer. When he came in, he was just like a strike zone.
Nasir and Suris? Sure. Nasir? Definitely not that. It's Suris. Last year, do you remember how he ended his season? Yeah, do you remember? He stepped off. He was in Baltimore, coming out of the dugout, and he tore a ligament in his ankle. Yeah. That was it. The whole year. He was done voodoo, I'm telling you. And if fans think that they're going to go out there and make a move, they're not going to make a move because teams aren't going to deal any starting pitching till at least June because everybody thinks they're in the race. And you could get a veteran guy who's on a minor league deal who's out of options, and Alex Anthopoulos cited the cases last season with Aaron Harang went from Cleveland to Atlanta, had a great season. Chris Young went from Washington to Seattle and had a great season as well. So if the Blue Jays can pick up a veteran, they got to drop the orangutan. If they can pick up a guy like that in the fifth starting role, you might. Don't forget, Johan Santana sitting in the weeds there, but if he's actually going to pitch and he's a total lottery ticket, Boston early. One thing you need to know today: Jays lose Marcus Stroman. Devastating news for the season after suffering an ACL tear, fielding bunting practice. Alex Anthopoulos on Primetime Sports with Jeff Blair in for Bob McCown was asked if he could make a trade to fill Stroman's spot.
We have the ability right now, if a deal was to present itself, to add a player. It's very remote at this time to add someone for training.
There you go. Those are the top 5 things you need to know today. Brought to you by Rogers Hometown Hockey, Sundays on City TV 716.